Accredited Crafter. My name is Ashley and welcome to my channel. Today is a special collaboration with Brenda from Monners Markest. Hey girl, how you doing? Hope you're having a good time in Jamaica. And this is the hashtag Bloom with Grace, my first ever co-host. I've done a horrible job. Thanks everyone for participating. Don't forget to check their videos out as well. And please don't forget to check Brenda. I'm sure you're coming from her channel to my channel because I'm just a small fry in this big old crafting world. Don't forget to check everyone's videos out on the playlist. It will be linked in the description box below, and I'm sure coming from Brenda's channel to my channel, but if you're not, go check her video out and don't forget to subscribe and like and all that good stuff. It really does help our channels to grow. If you're ever curious as to what I'm using, whatever I can link, I will link in the description box. So without further ado, let's get to crafting. Our first project, we will take this pumpkin wreath form, 2 of those, this plaque sign from Dollar Tree, this gather word, a few other types of pumpkins, like different shapes, and a wooden dowel. I'm going to start off by removing the tags and squashing our pumpkins to where it's, squashed together. Then we're going to add some zip ties to hold those pumpkins together. Now, if I were you, I would use black if you had them. I didn't, so I used the clear, and then I painted them black later. I used 4 zip ties, and that held just fine. I'm going to show you, this is what we plan on doing, stapling it to this plaque so we can stand it up. But we're going to paint it black first, but don't do this. Do not do this. Watch. Yeah. I had poked a hole in the top of that foil, and it was clogged, so I have paint all over my wall still right now. I just gave this plaque a coat, top and bottom, of the chalk paint in ink from Waverly. Then we are going to work on our pumpkins. I used scrapbook paper and I think mineral and celery. So first I sanded off the glitter so I could get a good stick with my Mod-Podge. Scored it a couple of times and it came right off of the stand. I used that little cutting mat. I love it. I'll link it in the description box. But I just cut that straight edge off and then jumped over to this pumpkin and traced it out on this scrapbook paper. I guess I was just prepping all my pumpkins, getting them ready to go. Now, you can use whatever you want, any colors, whatever suits your decor. Once you have it traced, then you can cut it out. I went ahead and cut both my pieces, and then I painted the largest pumpkin in mineral color chalk paint from Waverly. After I dried it a little bit, I decided I didn't want it that color, and I went in with the celery color chalk paint from Waverly. And I liked the effect. So it kind of gave it a shadowy effect. I don't know. You'll have to see. Let me know what you think. I did add some highlights with that mineral color as well, but I don't know where the footage is, and, anyways, we're Mod-Podging now. The scrapbook paper to our pumpkins. I'm sure you've seen this done a few times, so here we go. Mod-Podging. The trick with this stuff is to use thin coats. Just a little bit goes a long way, and you don't have to cover and everything in like soaking wet. So I mean, it needs to be on there, but thin. Then we're going to do the trick with the sandpaper where you drag the sandpaper downwards on the sides to get a nice, you know, even cut. See the finish? Nice. Okay, we're gonna see, this is where I painted those zip ties black so you can't see them as much. Yeah. We're going to attach everything. I find the center of the board and use my X-Acto knife to make a line there because I didn't have a pencil. I don't know. And there's the center. X marks the spot. That's where we're drilling our screw in. I'm screwing with a with a screwdriver. My son has my drill and he hasn't brought it back yet. So screwdriver it is. So I screwed in the screw first, made a pilot hole into my dowel, added some wood glue, then hooked that to the tip of that screw and screwed it in. Then I started stapling this pumpkin wreath form to my plaque. Then it's time to attach everything. To do this, I use E6000 wood glue and hot glue wood glue from Surebonder, and I will link that down in the description box below. When doing this, be sure you're careful not to mix any of the types of glue because it can make them inactive. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and liking and subscribing and all that stuff. And if you're not subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you took this moment to subscribe. Now, I did staple these pumpkins in, but I'm going to cover them up with some embellishments later. In order to give our plaque some more stability, I added it to another wooden sign from the Dollar Tree. Now we're working on embellishments. I took a piece of burlap and cinched it between my fingers, then tied it off with a zip tie. I made 3 of these and hot glued them around the stem of that wreath form. I then took a raffia bow and some solo wood flowers, which I will link in the description box below, and hot glued those on a couple of areas around the pumpkin with some ribbons, and this is how it turned out. Let me know how you guys like it in the description box or in the comments below. I really do like how it turned out. Those solo wood flowers are so neutral. Okay, project number 2, we are going to use a wood sign from Dollar Tree and a free printable, which I will link in the description box, as well as some cardstock, washi tape, and tissue paper. Start out by cutting that tissue paper to the size of your cardstock, and then tape it on with your washi tape. If you have any hanging over, just cut that extra off. Then you're going to put it in your printer upside down, just like that, and this is what you will end up with. I went ahead and cut mine apart because I decided to use a scrap piece of wood instead of the wood sign from Dollar Tree. I then placed my words how I wanted them to appear on my sign, just to make sure everything looked good. And then gave it one good coat of that mineral color by Waverly. I had and painted 2 pumpkins in the pumpkin color chalk paint from Waverly and celery color, also from Waverly. I painted on some details to the pumpkin, just dry brush some antique Waverly wax around the edges, and used real brown from Folk Art to paint on the ribs of those pumpkins. I just want to take a special moment to let you guys know I'm in a collaboration with Brenda from Monners Markest. She is a wonderful creator here on YouTube, and I love her so much. She is so talented, and She works with a lot of different things. She does water slides. She works with power tools. She is a chalk couture seller. So she is a wonderful, wonderful person to subscribe to here on YouTube. So go check her out. I'm sure you know who she is. So anyways, thank you, Brenda, for taking a chance and collabing with me. I appreciate it so, so much. And I hope you're having the time of your life in Jamaica. After I get those ribs painted, and by the way, I love painting pumpkins. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Love painting them. I went ahead and sanded them down and then distressed my leaves with the wax and distressed my board with the wax. And then we're going to work on putting our words on. Here, I'm just adding up the wax bit by bit until I like the way it brings out the wood grain. I also did add in some white, just as a little highlight, you know, just to lighten it up a little bit. After we're done distressing everything, I'm going to put my marks in at 1 inch, 5 inches, 9 inches, and 12 inches. And that's where we're going to be poking our hole in with our Crop-a-dile. I'll link that in the description box, and it cuts through wood like butter. I love this thing. Now, I punched them holes in there and then started putting my twine through so I can tie the twine onto the pumpkins. You'll just measure your twine out to let things hang at 4 inches, or that's how I done mine. You can make it longer, shorter, however, whatever you like. Whatever makes your eyes happy. Just measure everything and make sure it's even before you start tying everything down. Now we're going to start adding our words with the Mod-Podge. I just make sure my brush is a little bit wet before I get any Mod-Podge on it. Then grab some Mod-Podge with your brush, just a light, even layer. And then put your wording down, your tissue paper down. Do that with each of your words. Make sure you have got all the air bubbles out, then put a top coat of Mod-Podge on. This is how it turned out. I did add on a metal leaf and a little embellishment that came off of a different sign from Dollar Tree. Project number 3 is going to be a topiary. The first, or the largest pumpkin, I'm going to paint in pumpkin chalk paint from Waverly. The medium one is going to be in celery, and the smallest in mineral, all from Waverly chalk paints. Once my pumpkins are dry, I'm going to start putting them onto the dowel rod I have put in the middle of a styrofoam block from Dollar Tree. Put your largest, then your medium, and then your small pumpkin. After you have them the way you want them, you can hot glue them down. Before that, I put something heavy in the bottom of my pot so it didn't blow over or knock over easy, because these are styrofoam and light. Then I hot glued some of the solo wood mums to the pumpkins as well in different spots. I will have these linked in the description box below. You can get them scented or unscented. These are scented with apple, I believe. I then put some greenery in the bottom and hot glued a coil I made out of the wired jute. And make sure you always hot glue the end of that, because it will unravel. I hot glued some eucalyptus in there as well, and this is how it turned out. I hope you like it. Project number 4, I will be making a wreath. For the middle of my wreath, I decided to paint one of these wooden trucks from the Dollar Tree. I started with the body of the truck, painting it black with ink chalk paint from Waverly, and the tires as well. After that, I used the real brown from Folk Art to paint the fence of the truck and the hubs to the tires. I stepped away from this truck for 1 second, and when I came back, my son was painting my pumpkins for me. It was so cute. I then took a piece of vinyl from the Dollar Tree and added it to where the door would be, and this is how it ended up. Next, I took a wire wreath form from the Dollar Tree. All these different flowers, these mums, I didn't end up using. I used a cream colored mum that I got last year from the Dollar Tree. I started off by attaching this garland, this leaf garland, around with some zip ties. Then added my pumpkins in. I had 3 picks. I got them at Walmart for $1.27 each. After I got the pumpkins in, I glue in the berries. A bundle of berries went in on each side of the pumpkins. My next step was to put in the lamb's ear. I took 2 bundles per section, and then a cream colored mom at the base of that section, and tied them in with some zip ties. And this is how the wreath turned out. I hope you guys like it. It's my first one. Don't forget to check everybody's videos out in the playlist in the description box below. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks, Brenda. Have a good day. Bye, guys.